know. But, sir, I know where the bastard sleeps. I brought him there. To Carfax Abbey.
Welcome to Wacko Radio, everybody. Tonight's episode is another underrated, overrated movie. This time around, we're going to do, Liz?
Overrated.
Oh, an overrated movie. We got a nice gang here. Actually, we have 4 people here. We don't normally have 4 guests, or 4 people at a time, so this is the first. Very exciting. And we will introduce the guests and what the movie is after the music. Wacko Radio. Here we go. What I'm trying to do.
I love your intros.
Thank you. Welcome to... Can't do it. You gotta give a straight face. Alright, guys, we're gonna do an overrated movie this time. But first, we have 2 special guests here.
I wish we had a ribbon to cut.
We had a ribbon to cut.
The 4 guests.
Well, welcoming back the Turnburn man himself, Turner Andritz.
Hello, whackers.
For the
I
first
don't
time,
need that's over, please.
The first time a fresh whacker in the house is Sir James Reinhardt. Am I saying that?
Yeah, you're saying it.
Reinhardt. James Reinhardt.
Thank you.
The Rhinestone.
I'm glad to be whacking off here.
I'm glad to have you.
Excellent. So, guys, what is the movie? Liz Wacko, what's the movie tonight we're doing?
Bram Stoker's.
Stokers. You know, I
said Strokers too.
I think it's very like whack, you know.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
D. Actually,
D.
as according to IMDb, there is a Francis Ford Coppola who directed the movie originally wanted to name it just D. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. But...
D.
Like how he signed the
letter
or whatever. D. Who could this be?
I would constantly be making dick jokes.
I know. Like,
Francis Ford Coppola's dick.
I got the D, man.
Like if you worked on that and it was just called D. It was
that'd be hilarious. Let's watch D. Like, okay.
Like, yeah, we're all adults here.
Which would have been interesting because I guess his theory was to like kind of separate it from like the originals, and that's why they have. Well, there's two things according to these notes. I guess Francis Ford Coppola is kind of known for putting the author's name before the titles. Like in Godfather, it was
Mario Puzo's.
Puzo, and this is Bram Stoker's, but also they said to kind of like I said differentiate it from however many dozens of Draculas there were before that, which James and I did a podcast on your podcast a couple months ago about the Hammer Dracula films. So check that out, guys.
Yeah, guys. That was our old podcast for the love of cinema. We did a Dracula episode with Brad here, and we have a new podcast called Cinema d'Amore, which
nice plug.
You guys should check out. Yeah.
Oh, and there's Cripes Wacko.
Were those? I haven't seen those. Were those before this?
Oh yeah, what years were those?
They started, I think, 1958 was the first one.
Oh, wow.
Were these like was that the Bela Lugosi?
These were Christopher Lee.
Oh, Christopher Lee. Oh,
yeah, and
these went until like the 70s. He made
in the 1920s and 30s.
30 to 31.
31. God,
I'm a huge like classic monsters buff, so I know all this stupid, pointless.
Also, James is the only one I think in the room who actually read Dracula. Did you read it?
No.
You know, I almost did it. It's not a great story, but I remember I did I had to do some report. I don't know if it was in high school or middle school or what, but I was gonna do it on Dracula, and I started reading it. And when I was reading it, I realized how similar it was to Bram Stoker's Francis Ford Coppola's movie. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just watch this. Pretend like I.
And how did that
read
work
it.
out?
I don't remember. I'm sure I failed. Probably got busted. I did, man. Spark note. I was that student who Spark noted everything.
Well, I mean, you give someone that option, especially a high school student.
I know.
Yeah, it's true.
How do kids do it now? Like, why would you not just do Spark? I
Or
mean,
Wikipedia or whatever.
now
Yeah.
Wikipedia, anything. 'Cause
Now there's even more out there. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel
more
like there's
now. I
even
mean, that must have
more.
been like the dawn of internet. Spark.
Now there's like 18 different Spark.
Or
notes.
like
Yeah, I know.
Or like go on YouTube and watch Thug Notes and then just
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But yeah. So James, you read the book. So how similar was Coppola's movie 1992?
I
This
think
movie came out?
92, yeah.
How similar was it?
It's probably the closest adaptation I'd say to date. Still, like, there's stuff. I mean, it's hard because there's a lot going on in the book, and this is one of those movies that suffers from trying to cram this entire book into like 2 hours, and like there's so like the whole bit on the boat I think is like 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
that is like a massive section of the
If
book.
that, it's less
Yeah.
than that probably.
Yeah, that's like my favorite part of the book because it's so fucking creepy. Like you're getting this. It's like the captain's log. And he's talking about how like people are disappearing off the boat one by one, and you're seeing a mysterious man creeping around, which we know is Dracula. They don't know it's Dracula. And like,
Was it like in the middle of the book?
yeah, it's like in the middle of the book, and like that could almost be a movie in and of itself. And like in this, it's like
Dracula's
5
boat.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
D.
They'll really condense that then.
Yeah.
'Cause that's like, I mean, that's probably what,
Literally, not
2
even
or 3 minutes
yeah,
in the movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
it's-
even. It's like a
You
whole.
just
It's
see
just
some
like a
blood
whole
spray in
montage.
the fucking.
Yeah.
What's that part of the boat called? The
sail.
the sail.
The mast.
The mast.
You
Yeah,
old
that's-
sailor.
But yeah, so there's lots of stuff like that in the book that like could very well be like a movie in of itself, but because you only got 2 hours, you gotta like
Yeah.
you gotta get it, cram it all in there, and
Now, was the book like as much of a love story as it was in the movie?
not at all. No.
Like, what's up with that? I don't like that. That's stupid.
Yeah, I don't like that
I don't
about
like
this
that.
either. But yeah, there's no love. Like Dracula's just going after Mina just because like she's a victim.
She's a babe.
Yeah, and so
And he sees a picture, like, Keanu is a picture. I can't just Keanu.
His name Jonathan
Harker.
Jonathan Harker.
Harker.
He has a picture of her, right? And he sees that picture and like immediately just falls in love with her.
Yeah, it's not
In the
like that in
book?
the book at all.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it's not.
He sees the picture. He knows Harker has a wife, but just when he goes to England, he's like, well, hey, I know where this girl lives, so food. So
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
So yeah, and she doesn't fall. Like there's a bit in the book where she falls under Dracula's spell, but it's not like in this where she's clearly in love with him. Where
With her dancing in fucking candles in the middle of the candle circle.
there's none of that. There's like it's more or less like he's controlling her via hypnosis.
Yeah.
But she realizes it, and then she's like, fuck this
She
guy.
busts out.
Yeah. So Dracula's pretty much a monster from start of the book to the end of the book. There's no romantic.
Yeah, I have a big I love vampires, and I would rather watch a vampire movie than a zombie movie, especially now anymore.
Yeah.
But I always kind of I never really liked when you're sympathetic towards like the vampire.
Yeah.
Like, even and not to like jump to the end of this movie, but like it ends. Oh, like he's kittle me, Mia, or what's her name?
Mina.
Mina, kittle me, Mina, and and then it just like ends, and it's everybody's supposed to feel bad for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like.
You don't like the.
No, I like when vampire, like something like Lost Boys, when like they're the bad guys,
guys.
good guys either win or they lose, or. But to get back to the beginning of the movie, the very beginning. So how about okay, here's a question for James. There's like the intro, like I guess it's Anthony Hopkins' voice he's doing the voiceover.
Yeah, it's Anthony Hopkins.
He's telling like the backstory, so that's all.
That's all for this.
Francis Ford Coppola made that up.
Yeah,
or whoever wrote the movie.
Yeah, that's all for the movie. None of that's in the book.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's no battle and shit.
There's no battle.
What's up with his armor at the beginning?
The armor?
That weird red.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the,
looks like muscle.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
what's
Like
up with
muscle
that?
It was-
fibers
yeah.
in like anatomy class.
I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times before this, and this was the first time I'm like, oh, it's supposed to look like muscle
Like
fiber.
muscle.
Yeah.
And it was like blood red.
Yeah, it looked like plastic. It looked like I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with it.
And then like they had he charged off the battle right after that.
Which that was scene I thought was pretty cool. It was
yeah,
like silhouettes.
I did too with all the
like,
silhouettes.
that was
pretty cool. I thought that was an interesting way to do the battle
that was
like prologue kind of thing.
Which continue, but I do have a little fact which you might know too. But continue what you're saying.
Fact me.
Fact you.
Fact
me, baby.
So I don't sound like that
There's a
idiot.
part whenever they're like in the movie theater, like museum or whatever the hell they're at when they're on like their date. Or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Like there's like a paper.
Yeah.
It's like a paper cutout
Recreation
like
of that.
recreation.
Yeah,
it's like shadow
Well,
puppet.
according to IMDb, which is our sponsor, no, but originally that's what Coppola wanted the opening battle to be.
To be like that.
To be like
kind
a
of
paper
like the
thing.
silhouette,
And
Like
I
the
don't know-
shadow puppets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the shadow
yeah.
puppets. And I don't know why it changed, but I
Yeah,
guess
I
I don't know.
Maybe
but I did like
made
that
it seem
though.
more epic.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I did like that though, but it's like, I mean, I know it's a movie and this is like stupid to complain about, but like why? Like he like sticks a sword in the like why is that cross bleeding, man?
Yeah.
Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being
I was
a
confused
naysayer.
about that scene too. Like, does he like forsakes God or something?
Yeah,
And so
he-
that
I guess that's
That's what
because
makes
the
him a
priest wanted
vampire.
to. He said that like she can't go to heaven now because she killed herself.
Mhm.
His wife.
Yeah. Well,
Spoil-
so
spoilers.
yeah,
yeah.
which is Winona again, and Anthony Hopkins in like prosthetics and stuff. He was like the priest.
Yeah,
or whatever.
is that him?
Yeah.
I thought that was him.
Yeah.
I was like, why would he be the priest?
So
too?
he's like 3 parts. He does like the prologue and the. Doesn't he have like a voiceover in the middle?
Yeah,
like,
he's
like Dracula is sailing the 7 seas.
Yeah, he does
he
the
narrates
voices
over the boat.
for the
scene.
boat, yeah.
I thought he was on the boat
Anthony Hopkins.
because I was like, he was narrating, and I
He's
was like, well, wait,
sailing.
is he there? Does he know
He's everywhere.
what's happening here?
He's everywhere.
No.
He really is everywhere. The
Anthony
scene when he's in the
Hopkins is
graveyard,
great.
he like, pops out behind the graveyard. He's like,
See?
see how magical things could be in the fog? Whatever he says. Who was the original? I gotta open up these IMDb facts because there was someone. No, you know who it was who wanted to and was close to playing Anthony Hopkins' part. I think it was Liam.
Yeah, I read this.
Oh, the
Neeson?
Neeson.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
really?
the Niece-meister. And I guess like Silence of the Lambs came out, so Anthony Hopkins was like
Yeah, he
like
wanted.
the hot tamale at the time, and I guess as soon as he was interested in doing
He
Van
won
Helsing,
he won his
they were
Oscar
like,
for that year, didn't he?
for Silence
Silence
of
of
the
the
Lambs.
Lambs won that
Yeah,
year, I
he
think.
did, yeah.
Probably.
I guess when did this come out?
Well, Silence of the Lambs, I think was like 91. It's probably just
From that same time.
I think it was.
Yeah,
Right, that
I think he
same,
won
like,
his
couple
Oscar
years.
that year.
And I know after this, they had written a Van Helsing spin-off for Anthony
really?
Hopkins, but it never went anywhere. I think just wrote a script and then.
It wasn't the
Nothing
one.
one of those things.
It
Like,
wasn't the one starring Hugh Jackman.
From what I heard, I was trying to find.
Saw
I
that
was,
in theaters.
I was
I did too.
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
But I was
to,
trying-
to
Jackman.
Jackman.
I'll admit, I kind of like that movie.
Dude, I saw that like opening weekend. Like, I
Mhm.
was so
Probably,
fucking
yeah.
hyped for that movie.
Because it was the director of The Mummy with Brendan
Mhm.
Fraser. I'm not certain what the guy's name is, but
Stephen Sommers. Yeah.
boom, look at this man.
Oh, is
Fact
that-
man.
Facts.
But yeah, I read somewhere at one point that Van Helsing movie, like somehow the Anthony Hopkins Van Helsing movie turned into that after like years of development hell. But I was trying to research it for this to see if that was true, and I couldn't find anything that, so I don't know if maybe I just like, but
Yeah.
Hey, the audience won't know.
yeah.
I bid you welcome. Does he say that in this movie? I
I
bid
don't
you
think
welcome.
he does. No.
There's part. That's another thing. There's
I
parts
bid
where.
you well.
That's what he says. You never heard that?
Just funny.
That's
There's
yeah.
parts-
Bela Lugosi Dracula.
D.
There's so many scenes in this movie where like I don't understand what people are saying. Like especially the scene with like not Igor or Igor. What the fuck's that guy's name?
Renfeld?
Rumsfeld.
Tom Waits.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that Tom Waits?
It's
Tom Welling?
Waits.
Yeah, Renfield.
There was like so many scenes of him. I'm like, what did he just say? Even Dracula when he's like going off about it on his whatever, talking about Mina or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what is this guy saying, man? Easy with this
Him,
Transylvanian
Yeah,
accent.
Gary Oldman is going hard on the accent.
Yeah.
I feel like they
Yes.
all were forcing some accents in
Some
that.
kind
I
of,
swear
yeah.
at one point
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins sounded like Tommy Wiseau from The Room.
Oh my.
He said something. I was like, what? Wait, what?
Oh hi, Dracula.
Yeah, he said, oh, hi.
Is he so like in the book is because Anthony Hopkins I would think like the comic relief because he's got some jokes. He's like, what are we gonna do? Oh, he's like, oh, it's simple. We stab them in the heart, cut off their head, no problem. And it's like, I guess supposed to be like,
He's real
comic
giddy. He's
relief.
real giddy about
Yeah.
getting to
Giddy
fight
about
some
it.
vampires.
was he like in the book?
No, Van Helsing is in a book. He's kind of an old kook. Like everyone kind of assumes he's crazy until shit hits the fan. But
Yeah.
he's not like as eccentric as this movie makes him out to be. Where Hopkins just plays him like Hopkins has it turned up to like 11 in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He does good though, yeah, and especially I mean he was always I don't know when Hopkins started because he was always around, but I guess Silence of the Lambs is probably
He was in his
I don't know if
prime
that's
at
what
that
blew
point.
him up, but maybe.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably what put him.
You know what? Cool. Not to get like way off subject. You ever see the movie called Magic with Anthony Hopkins? He
It's about
has
a
like
puppet, right?
ventriloquist dummy,
I haven't,
and he
no.
thinks it's like alive and shit.
No.
But it's
No.
actually him like going crazy. It's a good one, man. But anyway,
Anyway.
back to
Little
D.
side note
Nice
there.
side note, guys. Check out
D.
Magic. Anthony
Why
Hopkins.
would they have him sign it D?
That's kind of corny. You know what
Like,
else is corny?
I mean,
Like,
it's like his
why is his
street
eyes?
name,
His
like,
eyes are in the clouds. I thought that was like kind of corny.
Yeah, that
too.
was yeah. Well, the fact that like the train scene starts off with clearly a model train.
I know
yeah.
it is, dude.
And then like there's that shot of Dracula's eyes in a cloud like watching. I'm like, what the fuck? Is
Yeah,
that?
like why would you? I did like though, and I have the note because right when it cuts to that miniature, I do like the They do a lot of like dissolves.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, at the beginning there's a shot of like a what's that bird called? A fucking peacock? Is that what it's called?
The peacock feather.
Peacock. There's like a peacock feathering into
Yeah.
frame.
Oh yeah.
And then it
yeah.
ends on the feather circle. What do you call it? And then it dissolves into the tunnel. And then that's
Yeah.
when it's like the miniature. Which
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
kind of obvious
Yeah,
it's a
there-
miniature.
There is some really good editing, which Coppola like this is fucking
Very
good,
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good. But the eyes thing, I mean, interesting though is they did very little, like Coppola, and I can respect it for this, he was very like gung-ho about, like, I want practical effects. Like those eyes, for example, wasn't like digitally, like they did kind of like an old school way of doing it with like layering,
Yeah.
you know, like a shot of the clouds, a shot of Keanu and, you know, whatever. And what's up with Keanu's hair though?
I was
Oh,
gonna
the
say,
opening
he
shot.
kind
I
of
had the
He's just
same
sitting there,
thing.
he's
he
just
kind
like-
of has like a bowl cut.
Yeah.
And then they-
Keanu's hair in this
Yeah.
movie.
And then they turn it gray,
That's crazy.
but
Yeah,
like
it's
the
even
rest of
corny.
him doesn't look any older.
Yeah. Oh,
Like it's like
It's
they
even
literally.
cornier when it's gray.
Oh
The
well,
fact
we'll
that-
put
yeah,
a wig on him, and then no one will know.
Yeah, when it turns gray, like the fact that like in every scene it is never the same consistency. of
Yeah,
gray,
it's a
like,
different like
yeah,
amount of gray in his
Yeah,
hair every
yeah.
time too.
So he's stressed from.
He's stressed of all those orgies.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
hot vampire chicks. Which the one chick was
Monica Bellucci.
yeah.
She's the new or another Bond girl.
Oh really?
Yeah,
she's
she's an
coming
ass.
back.
Damn, how young was she in that movie then?
I'm pretty sure she's ageless. She just
Yeah,
She
I don't-
still looks
She
great.
might.
I've heard
She might actually be a vampire.
She may be. Keanu might be
Conspiracy.
too.
She's in the
Conspiracy.
Matrix with that. With him.
Oh.
The first one?
The second one.
the second one. Yeah.
Is she one of those fucking twins? Oh no, those
She's
are
the-
two dudes.
Is she the girl who wants him to kiss her?
Yeah, in the bathroom. She's the Merovingian's like
Damn Keanu.
side piece.
Do you think Keanu, the day of the Matrix, was like, "Hey, it's been a long time.
Remember that
Remember that
orgy?
Dracula? This is a cakewalk, man."
So I got a
Yeah.
story about Keanu's cast because
Ooh.
I was on a film project and someone in the costume department worked on this movie.
What was the movie?
It was Concussion.
Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith.
Which
and,
Which James hooked me up with some work on that job.
Yeah,
Thank you, James.
that was a.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Turner was on it too. That's actually where we met. Was on Concussion, right?
Yep, in a parking lot.
Alright, sorry.
But yeah, our head
Nice.
tailor was like, yeah, I worked on that Coppola Dracula movie. I'm like, you gotta
Oh.
fucking tell me about like.
Yeah,
he-
that has to be wild.
Yeah, and he was telling me that Coppola didn't know who to get for a Harker role, but he wanted like someone that would bring in like a young female audience. So he went to his secretary. He's like, so who's the hottest young guy in Hollywood? And she's like, Keanu Reeves. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay, let's hire him. And that's why Keanu's in this movie.
Well.
She loved her some Keanu, as someone should.
Yeah, I was
As
gonna
one
say,
should. I
as
mean,
one-
can you blame her?
God.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, I mean, A for effort, I guess. And I'm sure he had a training coach to help him with the accent. But that's like, I feel like that movie's famous or infamous for his like terrible like British accent.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
There was
just-
literally a section of the Wikipedia page like dedicated to people's like critiques of
There's a book
Keanu.
out there, Keanu's accent.
He is trying. Like, God bless him.
Yeah, I
He's-
mean,
Yeah.
A for effort, dude.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him. I mean,
I think
I
we
couldn't
all
do
are.
it. I can't do a British accent.
Yeah, no, I
It would be
wouldn't
just
do
as
It was
bad.
just the combination of that and like the bowl cut and then the gray.
Yeah.
It's just this kind of like, what's exactly going on
And he like
here?
disappears from like
The movie.
most of the movie.
Yeah, there's like that 4th of the year where they hang out with Lucy and her
Yeah.
fucking like she's like all slutted up.
he's
with-
having a crazy orgy weekend.
Yeah, and she's having her own orgy with fucking Princess Bride and shit, and
Mhm.
whoever else is. Who are the other two actors? You have Carrie Elwes.
Carrie Elwes.
Yeah.
Are the other guys anyone?
The Texan was, remember the Rocketeer?
Yeah, who was
That's
he?
That's the Rocketeer, that guy.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit. I love the Rocketeer.
Yeah,
Great
so do
movie
I.
too, guys. So
Yeah.
Magic and Rocketeer. Check it out, whackers.
Yeah, so there's the Rocketeer, and the other guy is, what the fuck's his name? Like, he's like a British character
Like
actor.
the
probably.
scientist.
Richard
Yeah.
Grant.
Richard Grant, yeah.
Hugh Grant's
He
brother.
was just in Logan.
Yeah, fuck yeah, he was in Logan. He was
Yeah.
the evil scientist dude.
Seems like everyone's doing all right then.
Yeah.
What? To get back to when like Keanu gets to Dracula's castle, I think actually the blue flames was the very few like that was like I think some
blue flames.
bloody blue infernos.
Yeah.
Wolves.
He's like losing it.
Oh,
An
I love that
orgy.
scene. He like, and then like he's in his room, and then he's like looking down at the wolf silhouettes as they're like howling at the moon.
Yeah.
And
Is that
then
when
they
Dragon's,
cut, and Jay's just like crawling down the
I
side of the
know.
wall.
Yeah, okay. Was that in the book?
The blue
That's
flames.
right.
No, him
It's like,
crawling
what's
down the wall.
Yeah, that's in
happening?
the book.
And he like opens the window and he looks, and then, I'm sure like getting him to like react like he's like on the
You
wall.
see Dracula crawling down the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Which
like
kinda
confused
looks-
looking. I'm like, wait, what's
Yeah.
happening?
But then like later on, Keanu like is climbing out the window to escape and he falls on the wall and like slides.
Is that how he gets out? He falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why does he slide horizontally?
Because
Conspiracy?
because it's
Because it's Keanu?
I was
He's also
That's
a vampire.
pre-Matrix. That actually what inspired the
it's
Matrix.
an
that scene.
Easter egg of Neo.
when I was watching this, like when they first revealed Dracula, like was that ever not ridiculous? Like when this
With
came
the
out
shadow. Oh, with the cape.
with the cape, and like
cape.
Yeah.
the hair.
It almost looked like a spoof. I was like, why is his
Yeah.
cape so
It was pretty
long?
fucking long.
And-
And that hair is like it looks. I would say it looked like 2 cinnamon rolls.
Oh yeah, when he leaves the bedroom, there's like still like 10 feet of fabric behind him.
Yeah. Like, how are you supposed to not be distracted by
It's
that?
like, is he gone yet?
Like I was like,
How far
Can we
away?
kind of just step on his cape and not trip him out?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I was watching this like Dracula's there like looking like then like his shadow is like moving by itself and I'm like
Yeah.
did no one say like this is kind of ridiculous, Francis, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Especially like you were saying when he's like he's talking about Mina and his shadow's like strangling Keanu.
Yeah, like
It's
that
a
seems
spoof.
hilarious. Like it, but
Yeah, it is. It's like
I thought
spoofing
that was a
itself.
mistake at first.
Someone.
Like some crew guy
It's like
background,
yeah, it's like
lights.
I'm like, is someone just like fucking up with the light or something? Because it's like moving the other way.
Or how about like his fucking hairy palms?
Oh.
His like hairy ass hands.
yeah,
Hairy palms. That had to be some sort of inside joke there.
that was from the book too. Like
The hairy palms?
yeah, they're
Oh, really?
that's like one of those weird things from the book that is just there and never goes anywhere, but they kept it for some reason. Like that and the blue flames, like those are two things that like never like have no purpose, but they're in the book and they decided to like
Yeah, what?
Bloody-
That was the
when
only
he-
time you saw that, right?
His
Yeah.
hands?
When he's first
The-
taking the carriage
the
up to
blue
the
flame?
castle.
Yeah, how
And
come
that's
that
the
blue
only
flame
time.
wasn't there at the end when they're fucking chasing Dracula and his horse?
And it just like pops up right in the middle of the road there. Just like
It's like that could have made the cut. That had
yeah.
to be there.
in the book there's this
Blue
like
Inferno.
they mentioned that like
for that reason it did.
Maybe.
in the book like when that day when he's traveling to the castle they mentioned that day is it's like it's some holiday where like the line between living and dead is like at its weakest, and anywhere those blue flames appear is supposed to be like buried treasure, and it's
Like in Zelda. It's like
Yeah,
very
I guess-
Zelda-like.
yeah, I
isn't it?
guess, yeah. And so they mentioned that like the driver of his carriage keeps stopping and like placing rocks where he sees blue flames because that means there's treasure, but like it's never visited upon in the book, and this movie decided to like keep it in for some reason.
And who was the guy driving the carriage?
Yeah, he's like some kind of.
It's implied in the book that's Dracula.
That's
Really?
him?
Yeah.
So he pulls
okay.
a fast one. He
Yeah.
just like, because you know that makes sense because his arm kind of stretches out
Yeah.
and grabs Keanu, kind of like
Pushes him.
later on when he's in the bathroom, his arms like, which I guess that's kind of cool. I guess that's kind of neat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a fun little thing. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's just the.
Do you think like when they like pitched this? Well, I guess Winona Ryder gave him the script for this, but like, do you think he was saying he's like I don't want to make like another I don't want to make a vampire movie
He wants to make.
and like they're gonna let me do whatever I want, so like might as well make this thing like the kookiest like trippiest.
Maybe. Well, I heard that his
Balls to the
company though, like Francis Ford Coppola's company, was like borderline like bankruptcy,
At
and
that
like this
point.
movie was like supposed to like quote unquote save his company.
So he did this because he was
I
like.
wonder if it did though. I mean, was this movie successful even?
I think
it was.
I think it was pretty successful. Yeah.
It won 3 Academy Awards.
I mean,
I think it made like over 200 million.
Oh, really?
Worldwide. Yeah.
Just like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think that is part of the problem with this movie is like Coppola has made some of the greatest movies of all time, and now he's making this movie in the '90s, and I don't think anyone wanted to tell him no.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he just did whatever he wanted. Where he's like, yeah, Dracula's shadow moves by itself. So you're like, okay, and he's like,
I can't believe that wasn't in the book. I was certain.
No.
Certain.
I guess it's like if like Martin Scorsese wanted to make like a superhero movie today, like you wouldn't. No one would tell him no, right?
Yeah.
Like I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Martin,
you
get
never
to it, man.
know.
Yeah.
If he
Sure.
If he walked in Warner Brothers like, I want to make a Batman movie, they'd give him all the money. Like,
Yeah. Leo as Batman.
Here's the thing: Batman's gonna kill a lot of people and do a lot of cocaine.
Yeah. Robert De Niro as Alfred. That'd be a good movie.
Leo
Leo as Batman. De Niro as Alfred.
Joe Pesci comes
as the
back.
Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci's a penguin. Oh my god.
I think we have a good idea.
Marty.
here.
I think he goes by Marty. Marty, if you're listening, man, get it
I love
done,
Wacko
dude.
Radio.
I love Wacko Radio. I'm a fan. Yeah, I don't. What
But
else
yeah,
happened?
it seemed like something like he did either for the paycheck, like you said.
Well, I think it was just
or-
to save his. I don't even know if it was a paycheck. I think it was just to. Like, what did he do? Like, what did he do before? I know. What was his following film? Jack? Did you
I
ever see
think
Jack?
Jack.
I know he directed that.
I never
Yeah.
saw
That
it.
movie?
but I
Jack
think-
was after it, I think.
Oh, for sure. Remember that movie? Did you ever see a movie Liz Wacko? Jack
I know.
with
I
Rob
mean,
Williams?
I've seen parts
an
of it. I
interesting
don't know
one.
it well, but
Would,
I know what you're
Who would have
talking
thought
about.
that Coppola directed that movie? I remember
Yeah.
last time
Yeah,
I
that
watched
was
Jack,
surprising.
directed by Francis Ford Coppola. I'm like, what? Which, I'll be honest, whackers out there, I never really saw the Godfather movies. So I'm fucking up, man. I'm fucking up.
You can leave part 3, but one,
That's what everyone
one and
says.
2.
Part 3 came out in 1990.
So that was his
So that was probably the movie that
That
fucked
was
up.
what preceded the Bram Stoker's Strokers.
Stroker. She's a stroker.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bram Stokey Pokey. Yeah, I don't. So really, this made. I can't believe you said this only cost $40 million to make.
That's what this is saying, yeah. With the IMDb.
You would think, because like costumes alone.
Yeah, this
Which
is
one? That's what
Very
one of the,
elaborate.
One of the
I
things
mean,
that
like
won
the
the
dresses and
awards.
stuff. I would
Yeah.
have thought.
Dracula's wardrobe alone in this.
That
movie.
cape
That cape.
alone.
Yeah,
That cape was half the
They're
budget.
still making that.
Yeah, the cape's gonna be $1 million. So.
Like you said, all of his outfits, all of their outfits.
Did you, James, when you worked on Concussion, did you like see any like financial reports like how much like does and that movie was not, you don't have like 18th century clothing, but I mean, how much money do they spend on wardrobe on these movies?
a lot.
Way too much.
Because I was working in the office, so I got to see where the money went, and they don't
Millions?
not millions, but a lot. They don't thrift on those movies.
No,
That's
Like,
crazy.
especially not for the act.
They
actors,
shop at all like the high brand, like all the fancy clothes places.
Is that necessary?
Well, they just
I don't-
returned all that shit too.
And they return it?
Yeah,
Just,
they
like, take it right
they
back.
return it
Or
or
pitch it.
yeah, or it goes in like a fucking like locker somewhere.
Yeah, it's just sitting there.
Cause I for the movie it was called Let It Snow, and then it changed
Oh, Let It Snow.
Let It Snow,
Love-
and then
love the Coopers.
they changed it to Love the Coopers, bloody blue Coopers. But I helped like clear out the
Don't go see that movie.
Is it bad?
Wackos.
Was that your first job, Turner?
No,
First movie?
that was before. It was a couple movies before that, but God, that's.
I heard
Is
it
it
was
bad?
bad. Yeah.
But I had to clear out like the warehouse, I guess, with all like the props and shit.
Yeah.
They just threw everything out, dude. I
Really?
mean, we took a lot of cool stuff. Like I got like a record player and shit out of it, some other things, but it's just like you're sitting there throwing out all this stuff, and you're thinking like, dude, like how much money is just
Yeah, there was a
down the
lot
drain.
of film that is wasteful. Like,
It's
and
brutal, dude.
when I visited LA this past spring, there's a thrift store where like extra costumes and shit like
Oh,
that.
wow.
They just give them all to this thrift store, and that's like their
That's
whole.
what, oh, really?
That is like
That's
their
gotta
whole
be
thing
cool.
is like, and I guess occasionally they come across like actual like costumes that they have on display that aren't for sale. Like they had like Van Helsing, they actually had the costumes from Van Helsing like on display there, but they weren't
Hugh's
there.
costume.
Yeah, they had because I'm a big He-Man fan.
Nice.
They had the costume from like Skeletor's henchmen like on display there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that would be a good store to look through.
I
Oh my
wanted-
god.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it was really cool, but everything was super pricey because it's like this
Oh.
is from the movies. And
Yes.
it's
Wait, so this isn't a thrift store then?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But do you think so? But for this movie or movies like this, like I'm sure they spend millions.
Oh, I'm sure they spent a
probably.
lot on costumes. Yeah, especially since a lot of it probably had to be handmade.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
This movie won Oscars for best costume, right? Best sound
editing.
design, and I think I was told or heard or read that this was the first. It's one for best special effects, and and I think I read that category in the Oscars didn't exist before that year.
Really?
Like almost like this movie like opened the door for that basically. Because that's still a
I think
I don't really watch the Oscars.
his son did it. Roman? Or was Roman his son's name?
Ronin maybe it was Roman.
He brought, I guess, because they had brought someone else in, and they said, like, we can't do all of what you want to do unless we do it digitally. Something's
Yeah,
digitally.
no, I did read that, and then
he's
then
like,
he
no,
fired the
we're
person.
gonna do it all. I want to do it all practical, and he's fired them.
Yeah, because they were like, you can't do this practical. When Coppola was like, yes, you can, and then fired him, and then like his son kind of took over. I also heard that. I guess to get back to try to stay on track with like the story of the movie, like there's the great like 4-way scene with Keanu and the vampire chicks, which is a cool. That scene's not bad though.
That
That's
scene
kinda
is
cool.
actually
They come
pretty
from
good.
the
Like,
beds.
It's not bad.
Now easy.
Sure.
easy.
And then the one like walks away, and it's like,
Like
two
reversed.
two.
Oh
women.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
it
two.
was-
Yeah.
Even though it cuts.
Buzz
And then there's
kill.
Buzz kill.
And then there's the best shot of all time of just a like one frame, static frame of Keanu's nipple, and she's just like licking the shit out of it, just like.
Yes, yes. Slow motion freeze
I was like,
frame. Make that my desktop.
Like you can imagine seeing her like getting him ready for that, be like, okay, someone needs to come in and get Keanu's nipple hard.
Yeah.
But I read that for that scene. I guess like the actresses, and I guess one of them was Monica Bellucci, and I guess according to the IMDb, they said that I don't know if there was like some sort of like uncomfortableness, but like Francis Ford Coppola didn't want to like bring up okay like your girl's like time to like get topless, so he asked his son to do it, but he didn't want to do it either, so he had some other crew guy to ask, probably a crew girl.
What, like,
woman.
oh, take your tops off it?
Like basically they knew
Crew
they had
woman.
to do, but like I guess
Yeah.
it didn't come up yet in the day. Like okay, like all right, girls, it's time to, So I guess they for some reason. You think Coppola, I'm sure, worked dozens of times with nudity scenes.
Yeah, it's just kind of...
But for some reason, I don't know.
So you're trying to get his son to do it.
Boy,
Listen, son.
could have done, boy.
I have a good...
Go tell the girls to take their tops
Opportunity
off.
for you.
Let's go here.
It's the only time you get to do this.
I hope his son got like a fucking PA to be like, hey, tell those girls. to
Yeah,
take-
there's some like
intern.
guy out there right
Yeah.
now with the story.
Get
of,
one
like,
of the
yep, that was
Teamsters.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I was the one that went in there. I was like, all right, ladies,
All
let's
right,
go.
let's take them off.
But speaking of that scene though, which they like the extreme close up, like the fisheye lens of Keanu like screaming.
Yeah.
Like, well, where did the baby come from though? They have like that baby.
Oh, Dracula pulls out the baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Once again, I guess I know it's from reading the books, but like he goes into town and like kidnaps a baby,
But
because
they
like
just-
when he comes into that scene, he has like a bag and he pulls a baby out of the bag.
So that's in the book.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fucked up, and they eat it.
They do, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Him and his brides eat the baby in the book.
He feeds it to them. He doesn't take
Oh.
it, but he like gives the baby to the brides to eat, and then he.
Did they really like? They didn't really like expand on like who the brides were that much, did they?
They never did in the book either. They're just kind of like.
Yeah, I was
there.
going to ask, like,
Yeah.
if I
Random.
missed
They're
something.
just random.
It was that was a good scene though. Like not because it was cool. I mean the fact that it, like coming like raising from the sheets and it was a kind of
Yeah, I did
it
like
was
that
kind of
how
a
they
cool
like
scene.
rise up out of the bed.
But but him screaming because it does look like it's like a fisheye lens. Like he looks like you're looking through
Yeah.
one of those keyholes.
The sides of
And
it.
it's, and he's sitting there screaming. But I was confused though. Like I feel like there's like Because they're biting him. I'm like, how come he become a vampire?
I guess only Dracula can turn you into a vampire.
I don't know.
James, come on, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna add like because I thought that's what they were doing in that scene.
They
Like
were
they were trying
yeah.
to seduce him, but you know what I mean, turn him into a vampire. But
I know in
I guess
some.
they just wanted to bang Keanu. But I mean,
Wow.
you know,
I mean,
Blame
who
him.
blames him?
Can
I
you
mean,
blame him?
You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing on that one.
Yeah.
They just wanted to bang Keanu. What's
Yeah,
the
I
deal
can't
with
blame
that?
him. Yeah, Keanu is Keanu.
I don't know. Did Point Break come out yet? Point Break maybe.
Before, I think
Did
it was
it
the
come
year
out
before
before?
that.
I'm an FBI agent.
Wait, refer a bet. Let me
Come on, get it.
confirm.
He's confirming. Turn Burns confirm.
I think it did. I'm almost positive it did. Threesome with Keanu.
Oh.
Yes.
Foursome with Keanu.
Yeah.
Some five-some. If you
Everyone-
count Dracula, if you count the baby,
Well,
six-some.
Everyone's dream is a threesome with Keanu.
yeah, and like he's like kind of like no.
He was peak hotness then. I mean, he was like at the peak of his powers.
I don't know if he ever like left his peak. I think he's still.
Good point.
Maybe
he
not.
Probably hasn't.
But then Dracula shows up and says like, no, he's mine or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Look at this though. What's that?
Is that from that? What was that called?
Wait, is that Keanu?
Yeah, it's called. We're looking at. It's called Little Buddha. But where's another picture?
Oh wow! Look at that eyeliner.
whoa.
Oh,
Is he like
oh
Egyptian?
my
You
god.
gotta see this movie, dude.
Look at him.
1993, so I guess this was his
Wait, so
follow-up.
wait, is he playing an Egyptian in this movie?
What, in My Little Buddha?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Oh
but
my
I
God.
really want to see it. But yeah, we're looking at, for the record, audience.
He is a movie star with uncappable
You
range.
can do it all.
Oh my
Babes in Toyland.
I saw that Babes in Toyland.
Remember that, the big
Keanu
bowling
did.
ball
Yeah.
house or whatever?
Mhm.
That's a good one, man. Or
I
actually, don't
read
remember
somewhere
it, but-
where like he started his career doing like Shakespeare on stage, and I would pay
Dude.
like untold amounts of money.
To be or not to be.
Yeah, to see Keanu doing
Oh.
Shakespeare.
I think we talked about. Didn't we talk about this on the Keanu podcast about him doing
Shakespeare?
He did like Hamlet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like I would pay out the nose to see that.
Oh my God.
He at one point, I think it's right after he gets back to London and him and Winona Ryder are in the carriage, and he has like she sees
D.
Mr. D over like across the courtyard or something,
Yeah.
and then like she says something to him. I don't know, I forget what.
He's like, the Count is here.
Yeah,
He's
and-
in young form.
And then,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
and he just goes, oh. He's like the classic, like, oh.
You gotta get that in there. It's like, this is for my fans, Cope. If they call him Cope, I don't know what fans before Cope goes by.
He's like, don't call me Cope.
don't call me Cope. Okay.
Okay.
No. So after like I get at the three-way scene, like Dracula's laughing, it does like that transition where it's like Looney Tunes where it turns a circle. You know what I'm talking about? Which is
Mhm.
like I don't know. It was kind of corny. But I
Like
guess
those
they're-
guys.
He's
and then-
laughing.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
they're going for like some old school. I don't know what they're doing. But then I think it cuts. I think the next scene is when like the girls like Winona Ryder and Lucy like they're just like playing
Lucy,
in the
the
rain.
slime.
they start making out for some reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? What's
Yeah,
up with
yeah.
that? Like why are they sitting there making
They
out?
really
right?
played up like the horny,
Yeah.
I guess
like
so.
repressed.
Which yeah,
Woman.
there's always
Didn't
been like
I?
a sexuality to the Dracula tale,
Yeah.
but
Of
this
course.
this like really played it up in this one.
Yeah, because it's not like that Lucy girl. It's not like she was like she definitely was not an innocent.
No,
girl
man.
before
Is she a big
she met
skank
you.
in the book?
In the book they do have the thing where she's like courting those three like suitors.
Oh really?
But, yeah, so that's in the book stuff, but she's not as like sexualized as the movie. But there's a thing with like the three guys that are all competing for her, and
Nice.
somehow all three of them become like best friends.
I
while doing-
know.
yeah.
We all want to bang the same chick.
They
Yeah,
all like
yeah.
give her their blood at the one
Yeah.
scene.
Oh, there
I
was
love-
oh, no,
sorry,
no.
go ahead, no, please.
There was that one scene where she's after she's bed or whatever, and she's sick, and she's in the room, and I guess Anthony Hopkins goes in to check on her. I guess
It's like him
They're
and,
trying
like,
to
the
figure out what's
scientist.
wrong.
The doctor.
And
yeah.
she's like moaning and shit, and then
And then the one, I forget which guy.
it's Carrie Elwes.
Oh, okay. He
Because
bursts
like
in.
he's
What the hell's going on? And, like, I guess they thought they were having like
Is that
some.
the cowboy guy?
no, it's
The
he
other-
was
the
the one
other
who
guy.
Carrie Elwes, the one who ends up like I guess marries her.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
being
her
married,
actual-
yeah.
okay.
You know
Yeah.
that actor is right, like from
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Princess Bride and
Mhm.
shit.
But it was just so funny.
Liar,
'cause
liar.
He busted in like he caught them.
Yeah.
You know,
What the
like-
hell's going on?
And
here?
the guy and they turn like she could bleed to death.
Yeah.
Like, we're not partying in here. It just was funny the way they, like, did it.
And then
She just had one boob hanging out, too, that entire
Yeah, I know.
scene. I was just like...
They're
just
like,
one
we're
boob,
just gonna,
just like
you
the
know.
one side
give
boob
us
there.
one, Lucy.
So wait, for every
Yeah.
scene that involved boobs, did Francis Ford Coppola have to delegate someone else?
To tell them, like, there was a
Yeah,
new person
right.
every time.
Yeah, like every
Like, who wants it
shit,
today?
that PA's not here
Yeah.
today.
Fuck,
Like,
where's my
shit,
boob?
man.
We gotta get a new one.
Like, not it.
Yeah. Give Fred the key
Not
grip.
it. Somebody-
you like tickle me? What? I heard she had to dye. She dyed her hair red or like made
That was
a
like
redhead
orange,
to
yeah. That was like Cheetos orange.
Yeah.
She dipped her head in
Yeah.
Cheeto, please.
Cheeto, please. But I think she did it so because I don't know if the actress feared that she looked too much like Winona Ryder, but I guess they must have had similar hair colors. So I don't know if it was her choice to make her redhead, but I'm down. In the book, do you remember what she?
I don't remember.
Did they describe?
I don't think they really did.
There's like a whole color theme of red and throughout that whole
so.
movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Symbolic.
But Franny, man.
I mean,
he's
yeah,
a nasty
for,
guy.
it's a movie that plays up to eroticism, so I'm sure
It
like
does.
working red and
Yeah.
is,
But the wolf man ape
Yeah.
rape scene's not in the book.
No,
He's like raping
no,
her in
yeah,
the jungle,
no,
or like
he-
in the hedge maze. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
no, like in that scene, like Dracula takes the form of a wolf and escapes the boat and like attacks her and then runs away. But
Like it's when the boat's like docked, he gets out. Not like
Yeah.
he doesn't like he's not like fucking doggy paddling through the.
yeah, he's not. Yeah, no, the boat.
This isn't going fast enough. I gotta get there sooner.
I should have been to a bat.
It's thrown off my whole plan.
Yeah, the boat crashes and like everyone says they saw like a white wolf running away, and then like Lucy and like Mina are doing their thing, and like a wolf attacks Lucy, and that's Dracula.
And that's when he like bites her.
Yeah.
I like his line to Mina in that too. He's like, "You didn't see me."
Yeah, he's like, no, you're not. Like a kid whose
Okay.
mom walked in on
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
like,
right, yeah.
Don't
You
look
didn't
at
see
me.
Don't you didn't see anything.
What's up with then like now that he's okay like Dracula's in London, which what is the whole thing? Why is he buying land in London? To get victims? Like why is he so concerned about buying like real estate in London?
He's an entrepreneur. He's allowed.
Once again, in the book, it's like in Transylvania, everyone's kind of like wise to him, so that's why he's old, because like he can't get blood, because like they all have crosses and shit up in their houses.
They figured it out.
Yeah, so he wants to move to London for new victims, and he's bought like all these houses like strategically placed, so if he's in a bind, he'll have a house close by that he can go to you know.
Because he needs
Like
his
Johnny
own.
Depp.
He needs to be able to sleep on his own soil, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And,
That's why he has the boxes full of dirt from.
Oh, you're right.
and that's the thing in the book is when they like figure out Dracula's behind this, they don't know like which house to go to, so they have to go like one to the other to find where he's.
How did Keanu, when you were saying when he was in the carriage, how did he know that was him in the young form? Like he figured it out right away.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
the count. He's growing young.
He's younger.
There's no way I would have. Like,
Well, he saw the picture.
The painting.
They had the
Yeah,
painting.
right.
He has the painting, and he's like, "You look like that guy."
When he snaps,
And he, like,
snores,
he
he's
looks-
like,
He just looks at it. Yeah, they like cuts to him like with a
It's like,
sword on.
Jesus,
Like,
take, take a chill pill there, Grant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is like the overreaction of this.
what did he say?
He makes some jokes.
He's like, "It's
"Oh,
not a killing." But yeah, I think he had the painting, like the obvious painting right on his wall. Like, you look like that guy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, for one thing, I didn't understand, and Coppola was like, oh, because they did such an old school type of filming, like they filmed it. Like, what was up with like the sequence that's like the 8mm, like.
Oh yeah, the old
Like,
hand.
Of when he's
Yeah.
first in
What
London.
the fuck was the
I
point of
don't
that?
know.
I think
I
because he
understand.
could. Like,
And
Yeah.
why is he walking around daylight? I don't get it.
that is also from the books where vampires can go around in daylight, but they don't have any of their powers.
That's. I think they.
Really?
I think
Yeah, they're
they
The
had,
sunlight doesn't come. In
they had a
doesn't
narration
go
line
around.
that said that.
Yeah, they
I
do.
think.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins.
It's like that myth is not. It's a myth.
Oh, really?
Because
They're weak.
Nosferatu is the movie that started that sunlight can kill vampires.
The old 19.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's a good one. Though.
That is fucking
The
awesome.
German one,
Yeah.
the silent one.
But like
Yeah.
1912 or something.
That's creepy.
Yeah,
it's still creepy.
It is still.
Even
really-
though even the other version. Actually, I don't know if I really saw.
Yeah, they did remake it. You're right. I
Well,
heard that was
they
good
had like
too.
Shadow the Vampire with Willem Dafoe,
which is
That
also
was,
awesome.
Is that a good
Yeah.
one? But they did one in this. Did they have them? They did one like in the
Werner
70s.
Herzog, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And then they're doing a new one.
Really?
The director of The Witch is doing a remake.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I never saw that.
You didn't see The Witch?
I wanted to see it.
Check it out.
it's good.
Yeah,
it's
Witch is
good.
pretty
It's
good.
really
Witch is
good.
pretty good. Yeah, I was confused because I'm like, why is he like strolling around daytime? Like, what the fuck's going on, man, with that?
His suit was crisp though. It was a good looking gray suit. He's one of the.
He had that
It
hat.
was
Yeah,
great.
that top hat.
Yeah, he's like ridiculously tall.
Hello, man.
I'll blend right in
Yeah.
with this giant hat.
So what? Like, so they go to like they have like that date or whatever. I don't know what the hell's going on, but like what are they watching porn? Like, what's
Yeah,
going
is
on
that
in that museum?
He wants to go see the cinema. He heard it's the cultural epitome
Like,
of
what,
the
porn now?
world.
There's like
they're
There's
watching
so
like,
naked there's naked
Yeah.
people walking around. So I'm like, is that what people
Coppola
do?
was like, it's been 15 minutes without anything. We gotta put
Yeah,
something
right.
in. Put it in the background. Play it in the screen.
I don't want to tell anybody else to take their top off, so we're just gonna put on an old.
Yeah.
There's like one producer there who like leans over to him. He's like, "Hey, I just want to tell you, we haven't seen a boob in like."
It's been about 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
But yeah, and why? So like, yeah. So did we talk? Like, why wouldn't Keanu be a? Did we ever discuss why he wouldn't? Why? How's he not a vampire?
I guess
Chicks are
only-
sucking him dry.
That's probably a
Yeah,
James question, but
It's just
only
'cause-
he can turn them. I guess.
I mean, in some movies and books, like vampires, you can only become a vampire if they have you drink their blood too. You become one.
yeah, because that's what she had to do, right?
Yeah.
She had to drink his
But
blood.
she
don't-
did though.
I don't remember if that's the case in the book Dracula, though. So don't quote me on that. But
Yeah. Don't quote James,
Yeah.
everybody.
it's been a while since I read it.
That's very true. Yeah. Yeah. So I was kind of confused with that. Actually, here's something funny that I read. Maybe you read this too on IMDb. They said that the scene when they get married. Did you read that?
Oh yeah, I read
Did you read
that. Yeah,
There's a scene. Hey, do you want to take it?
they're doing it like it's like a Greek Orthodox church or something.
Yeah.
And like that was an actual priest that actually married Keanu and Winona like during that scene.
Oh
So
really?
like after the fact, they realized I think that they had to reshoot it,
Yeah.
but they realized like they were actually.
Yeah. It was like
That's
Can you imagine?
incredible.
he performed like an actual ceremony. And actually
Winona's one lucky gal there, man.
Yeah, right.
What a day.
Winona
Seriously.
Reeves. Sounds
I'm
good.
like, wait, well, no, we're keeping it.
yeah, I hope they never got it annulled. I
She
hope they're still,
never,
like-
she never would have shoplifted if she would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I have a
Imagine
secret.
that?
Accidentally
imagine
married
that being
Keanu
weird?
Reeves the one day.
Did you go into like the whoever you go to like get divorces, like picture
Keanu Reeves.
Can you imagine like telling the story like you said, like telling someone like, yeah, I accidentally married Keanu Reeves
Yeah.
one day.
Sounds like a dream.
Yeah, like, how
That should be the title of her autobiography.
Yeah.
I accidentally married Keanu Reeves. I'd buy that. There was in that scene too. They drink like the wine. I guess as part of the ceremony, and he just gives her the wine through her veil.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I
I was like,
yeah.
I was like, what?
And then they're like making out. It's like
Yeah.
what happened to a nice little like wedding kiss?
Like he didn't bother to just go like that. Like he literally
Too
just
much
put it
work.
right through the veil.
Yeah, I
and
thought
was
that
like,
too.
I'm just gonna destroy your
Yeah.
veil,
If
too.
I get a wine stain on
It's
that
like
thing.
my hair's gray.
He's ruined that veil.
Yeah, it's red wine. It's destroyed.
Yeah, I just lost. Yeah, when he had the
Unliked.
gray hair, man, I lost him, man. I'm just
Yeah.
like, dude, because I didn't know his hair could get worse. And now it's fucking gray now. It's like,
It's like the same exact cut and everything.
A
just-
gray bowl
just
cut.
Just
You
gray.
can't get better than a gray bowl
oh.
cut.
So how long was he in Transylvania?
I think it's like a couple months in a
Jesus.
but in the book they do mention that like his hair
It's
went
sucked dry.
gray from the experience.
All the action.
getting
Yeah.
sucked off.
Yeah.
everything.
yeah,
Right.
those women they wore him out, but
He's like, please.
But I don't think it like something like that translates well to the screen, like your character's hair going gray all of a sudden, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is exhibit A as to why it doesn't look good.
Yeah. What about like, so in the book he never turned into like the gorilla or whatever he was. What about like the rats? There's part of the movie he like turns into like a bunch of rats. And,
I
like,
don't think so.
crawls out.
I
You
think-
said he turns into the mist.
He turns into mist and
fog.
The
whatever.
green. It was like green.
But
Right?
in the book you said it wasn't.
I
Green?
think it's just like regular mist he can turn into in the book.
yeah.
But
And bat obviously.
that
But he can
obviously-
control like rats and other creatures, right?
I
Isn't that
believe
what they
so.
say?
Yeah, I think. Which you seen Argento's Dracula? Have you? Oh,
Yeah,
I've
parts
never
of
seen
it.
it.
Oh, dude.
In Argento's Dracula.
No, that's a bad one. Like this one is like gold compared
yeah,
to.
Argento's Dracula's awful, but they mentioned in that movie that like he can turn into any animal.
That's right, because doesn't he turn into like a.
Like a 7 foot tall praying mantis in one scene. Because there's like a scene where like they know he's coming for Mina, so they have her like locked in a room and everyone's standing guard, and you see like a shadow of like a praying mantis coming up the stairs, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a fake out where it looks huge, but it's just like a tiny
little one.
But no, it's like a giant fucking CGI
like
praying
walking up
mantis like coming up the stairs, and it just
Dude,
like
See, that's you
that
can't.
movie's like
expect-
awkward bad.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like,
it's-
you can't tell someone like a director like him that he can be anything he wants. He's like anything.
anything. Are you familiar with Dario Argento?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I've seen a few.
Because we've done a podcast on it.
What's that? It's like a specific genre, isn't it? That
Giallo.
Well, he had like that
Giallo,
Giallo, and you've seen some of his work, Liz Wacko. Like actually, she's seen most of Bird, the Crystal Plumage.
oh nice.
Which is we can go off on
Yeah, that's a good
Argento.
one, yeah.
But yeah, he did a Dracula version a couple years ago, and it is like it's one of those movies, man. And I'm a huge fan of his. But like you watch, I don't even think I think I stopped
It's
it.
brutal, man. Like it is hard to.
It's awkwardly like bad.
It's
cold.
awkward.
It's
Yeah.
just like all over the place.
It's just
or-
bad, man. It looks like a soap opera for one thing.
This is really boring. Like it's,
Really?
It's just like, and his daughter's in it,
and of course she's naked.
and she's naked.
Yeah.
She gets
Of
naked in
course.
all his movies, which is kind of its own interesting. I don't know what that's all.
Yeah,
about.
we don't want to get into that on.
The thing.
No, that's another.
That's
podcast.
another podcast.
That's a whole other.
Because I love AZ Argento. Don't get me wrong, but like, yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, why are you?
What I did like about this though is like, even though it was in 1992, like it's still different than any vampire movie I've seen.
Yeah, I'll
Even
give,
after all the iterations that have come out.
yeah, I'll,
Yeah.
I'll give it like even today, like it looks so much different than any movie.
Anyone
It
that I
definitely
can
looks
think
good.
of.
Yeah, I know we're laughing, making fun of it, but like cinematography wise, it is a good looking movie.
Production design.
It's different. Like it's
Production
still
design.
different. You know, like how many vampire movies and shows and whatever have there
know.
been since like 1992? you
And
know?
I feel as far as like evoking like the mood of the novel, I think this movie does that
It's
really
that-
well.
yeah.
Where like it looks like what you imagine like a Victorian set
Yeah.
horror thing would look like.
Yeah, so the production, like, so what about the act? So all like the acting wise, like besides Keanu, like how was Winona? Was she a good choice for that?
I thought she was pretty solid.
She all
Fine
right?
for that.
Yeah.
'Cause she did
One
like
of
an
the better
accent
ones,
too.
I thought.
And Hopkins, I guess, is solid.
Winona Ryder, fun fact, from Winona, Minnesota.
Wait, what?
She's from the town of Winona, Minnesota.
Or is that,
Spelled the same.
really?
Yeah,
Is that her actual name, Winona Ryder?
Winona Ryder.
So her parents named her after the fucking
The
town.
town that they were from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
Pretty
so.
cool. Hey man, that is an interesting name though.
Winona? You don't. Yeah,
No,
I can't think
never
of another
met-
Winona.
Or a Keanu. I never met a Keanu. Female.
Yeah, I've never
Until I
met
named my kid that.
So say you guys name your kid Keanu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
Middle
should
name
name
It's
it.
not.
Keanu.
It's not too late.
It's not too late, it's not
Boy
too
or
late.
girl. I feel
Yeah,
like it could work either way.
Kiana.
Yeah.
Kiana.
Wait, no,
Oh!
wait, we knew a Kiana.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's true.
That is actually a true
I just
story.
realized that right at the second.
Yeah,
That was
see?
her name.
Kiana, God bless her.
Keanu.
But yeah, so after the infamous line when he's, I know where the bastard sleeps. It kind of like, I guess, drives into the third act, which seems to go on for so fucking long. I feel like that's when the movie really starts dragging. Like, there's a point that, it's just like 30, 40 minutes. It's like, what is going on? Like,
I was texting you this the other day where like it was on Prime and I saw it was like 2 hours and 7 minutes long and I said to myself, I'm like, only 2 hours? Because it feels so much longer.
Yeah, like
It
easily could have
definitely
been
does.
30. You dozed off. Liz Wacko dozed off.
Wow,
for a little.
I'm also pregnant, so it's not my fault.
I'm not picking on you. No, I'm saying I don't blame you. is
No,
what
I'm saying
saying.
it's not the
Movie.
best movie to do that if you're pregnant or you're,
Fucking
sick and need
or
to
wasted
sleep.
or
I don't
something.
know.
Yeah, no, because
But we watched it before though.
Yeah, we saw it
So I
before.
did see.
Well, I
it.
thought we'll turn like because I texted you.
You thought I fell asleep?
I really thought I'm like, dude, like you may have fell asleep, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah, because you texted me, you're like, did you finish it? I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna finish it this morning. And I thought I had like a lot left in the movie, and it turns out I had like 20 minutes.
So it does feel long.
Yeah,
Because I said to him, "How long is this movie?" Because you feel like, okay, like move it along. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what like after, because when we did the hammer or the what's the term?
The Hammer.
The Hammer Draculas. Watching those, I thought this movie was way cheesier than those, and those movies are from
Like the
50s, and when I'm sure most of the movies were probably pretty cheesy around that time, and like this movie, I thought, and that's why I think it was overrated. Like, I mean, I basically gave up with Rotten Tomatoes, but they gave this a 78%. Do I think it's kind of high?
I think that's kind of
78. IMDb gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
What would you give it?
Out of 10 or like a percent? Like, so if Rotten Tomatoes gets 78%, I guess it's the same thing, I guess. But I don't know, dude. Like,
I wouldn't give it that high.
No,
I was surprised.
I would say
actually really high. I think
50s, maybe.
At the most.
I would say.
60s.
I want to say.
It's not terrible.
I want to say 40, only because 40. I thought the movie looked good, like the costumes, everything it won an Oscar for. I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
I like the score a lot.
Score's great.
Mm-hmm.
Which you guys might hear it on this podcast. But and the makeup effects were cool, even though it's just like it really seemed like how many more things is he gonna turn into? Like now he's like some Batman creature. I don't even know what he is. He
did become the
pops down. He's like some weird Batman.
Yeah, I felt bad for Gary Oldman in this movie because like in every other scene he is buried in some ridiculous makeup.
I know. But actually, so I would give it. But actually, James has a story. But I would give it. I'm gonna say 40. I would give it a 40% maybe. 78's way. That's like rounding up to 80. That's way too high.
Do like
I want to say 40%.
And you guys have run in these circles more than I do. Like people consider that very good, like a very good movie, like in the vampire genre, in the horror world.
I think people.
Or just in general,
I think people think it's a good movie.
I guess I have no concept of, like I guess I had no like preconceived notion of it, if it was people thought it was really good or if they thought it was really bad.
I think people pick up the fact that, like, or at least they remember, and I actually sort of have a story, but they remember that, oh, it's Francis Ford Coppola, oh, Anthony Hopkins, Gary Oldman, like, oh, it's good because you have these A-list actors and this A-list director. I think people are more keened in on that opposed to like the actual movie itself. And actually, I worked on this this job, this like it was this like FBI like video shoot or something a couple years ago, and I was a production assistant, and I was driving the director and the director of photography, to set and to the hotel and whatever. And we got to talking, and these guys were very, I would say they were probably both like, let's say around 50. They probably had been in the business for, I don't know, whatever, maybe 25, 30, however many years.
They'd seen some things.
Yeah, they'd seen some stuff, and they seemed like the type of guys that were very like, oh, like, if it's this blockbuster movie, it's a good movie. Which, half the time, blockbuster movies are fucking the worst ones, man. Like, truthfully, really think about it. Like Top Gun, I mean, like that was a huge thing. I mean, it's classic, but like that movie's fucking pretty.
That could be. You could do it one.
Well, we will. Oh, we will, guys.
Yeah,
we so into our booze and cruise episodes.
Yeah.
Booze and cruise.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
But it was one of those stories. I remember I was driving them, and we were talking. I remember I brought up David Lynch, and they were instantly like, "Oh fuck, the guy's fucking sucks. He's weird." And I was like,
"Really?
I'm gonna zip up on that one." Which I can understand. I mean, David Lynch's movies are weird. I can get
They're not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, which is fine.
But
which is fine. They're on the artsy side, I guess, if you want to say that. And that's cool. It's all good. But I brought up, it's one of those things, and I think everyone can relate to it. Do you ever do a thing when, like, let's say we're talking about Dracula, and I was like, oh, this movie fucking sucks. And then one of you guys are like, oh, I really like that movie. And then you would say, yeah, it's not that bad. Like, you would kind of agree. Well, that's what happened. We were driving, and at that time, we must have just watched Dracula, so this was a couple years ago, and I said like, oh man, what about like, remember Bram Stoker's Dracula? Because I was gonna say like, it was terrible. Before I even finished, they're like, oh, that movie was awesome, it was amazing, oh, it was so good. So I was kind of like, yeah, it was good, it was a good one. Because I didn't want to like,
there's no point.
Like, what is the point?
Well, you can't get into
like,
a movie debate with your boss.
I know, like you guys are stupid, man. Like the movie is not. Like I said, I bet you it was one of those things. They were caught up with the fact of like the blockbuster aspect of it, like A-list actors, A-list directors, director, and like I don't know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people like get confused. They confuse a pretty movie with a good movie. Because like my girlfriend and I, we have a category of movies we call like Everyone Tried but the Screenwriter, where like everything looks
That's
great.
Good. Yeah.
Everything looks great, but like the stories, and I think that like this movie is a prime example where like it looks beautiful, it sounds beautiful. Like, the actors are all there. say what you will about Keanu, but he's trying.
Right.
Yeah, I still love him.
Yeah, I love him.
Give it
Like,
100% out.
Yeah,
giving
that's what I mean.
100%.
He's trying. Yeah, and but like
A for effort.
the script is just like you don't really care about any of the characters.
No.
Because like I watched a few days ago, and I spent like a day trying to put my finger on like what I didn't like about this, and because it bugged me. I'm like, it's not good, but like why is it not? But like
You have nothing to like hold on to. In that story.
and like movie kind of wants you to like sympathize with the character of Dracula, but like one of the early scenes, he's feeding a baby to like monsters.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to think this guy's like a tragic hero for doing that,
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
They played up the sympathy for him a lot, especially at the beginning part.
And
He
that's
loses his
at
wife.
the
He's
end.
like going out to fight this like impossible war, I guess, or like this like losing battle or something.
and this is
That he doesn't lose.
They
Yeah.
want you to feel sympathy for him, but he does like a lot of despicable things in this movie, and then you're still supposed to like root for him, like.
That's true, and even like the end, that's why like the end kind of bothered me because it's like if somebody's just like feel bad for him. Oh, kill me, Mina. Kill me. You do not deserve to be like me. And it's like, so are you supposed to feel bad all of a sudden after he like fed babies and made Keanu Gray and shit?
Mainly Keanu.
Mostly
He stressed out Keanu.
It's for hurting Keanu. This is for Keanu.
You have to do some serious shit to stress out Keanu.
Keanu's been through a lot, man.
Like-
he's
He
in
has
all his
beautiful
movies.
hair, and you stressed him out.
I feel like you can't stress him out. He's unstressable.
For Keanu.
But what you were saying, I think, is a good point. And then they took Francis Ford Coppola and they're like, we got all these big names, and they're like, let's just throw it at the wall and like we'll get a hit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get
It'll be
great
decent
cinematography. We have a book that everyone knows. Like we have
He's
a
familiar with the story.
Like let's just throw it at the wall and like this is obviously going to be a hit.
Yeah.
Like,
Because there probably wasn't.
There
like,
wasn't like more
successful-
thinking behind that than like if we just get all these pieces together and just like mash them up and throw them out there, then that'll be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Be good enough.
I think so. So I don't know, but so I would give it a 40%. Turn, what would you give it? We'll go around the circle.
Probably give it like a 55.
55.
55.
That's still a fail, and according to high school grades.
Yeah.
What's a fail on the tomato meter? The rotten tomato meter.
Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. I'm over that.
I don't
dude.
like
I'm
Rotten
over it, man.
Tomatoes.
That's why we did an underrated movie. This is completely nothing to do with horror or Dracula, but there was this comedy called The Watch. So like Ben Stiller.
Like Ben Stiller.
I
I thought it was a fun movie.
Yeah, I
I mean,
never
we
saw
laughed.
it, but I
We
remember
enjoyed.
that, yeah.
It was a funny movie. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 13%. I'm like, a 13?
Like you go on
And
there.
this is 78, which this movie is like this corny ass. I know it's not a comedy, but this is this corny ass movie. And you're gonna give this a 78, and a movie that's an enjoyable, like nicely structured movie.
Yeah.
And you're gonna give that a 13%. I don't know.
Well, I think too, like you couldn't like if you
Tomatoes.
said like, oh, Francis Ford Coppola made a bad movie, people would look at you then and be like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like that's the Godfather guy.
Yeah,
Like, he just
yeah.
made the three best movies ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So 40%, 55%. Liz Wacko.
41.
Oh.
Damn, is the Price is Right. What is this? Because
Because of the gray hair.
the gray hair gives it a
The
1%.
gray bowl cut. Just can't get over it.
James Woods.
I guess out of 10, I'd give it like a 5 or 6.
So 50, 60, sounds like 55%. So
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the same.
50% somewhere.
So I'm the
there,
asshole right now.
Yeah, you are.
Jesus,
You know,
thanks guys.
Your opinion's your opinion.
No, I get, but that's we're all in the same kind of ball.
Yeah.
No, none of us think 78% seems or
It's
7.5
That's too high.
out of IMDb, which I guess is like 78% would be 7.5. Like that's just too high, man. Like give it a 5 or or like give it a 5 was something solid. And I don't, but it was overrated. I think it was overrated.
Yeah, okay.
I think, like I said, I think people look back, and I think because even before. I mean, we rewatched it the other day, but even rewatching it a couple years ago, I remember like, oh yeah, this is a classic movie, and we watched it. I'm just like looking at the watch. I'm like, this movie's not good.
Oh, you went into it with the.
Well, this is a couple
this is
years
a classic
ago,
movie.
because I remember seeing it as a kid and liking it, and probably being jaded with the same facts that we were talking about. Like, oh, it's a great cast,
Yeah.
filmmaker,
It's got everything.
and it's just like you're right. No, you're right. It's like they did just throw it and say, oh, this will be a hit.
Yeah.
It's like most blockbusters. Truthfully,
Yeah.
it seems like. I mean, what was the last like good? I mean, I guess blockbusters now are like superhero movies, but what was like the last like besides that? Like, what was the last? You know what I mean? Like the good movies are never blockbusters. They're always the ones that either bomb and then like years later people are like, oh yeah, that's a good movie.
Well, those things are like so tailored now to like hit like every demographic.
I hate that.
So
dude.
it's like there's 4-quadrant movies that'll appeal to like adults and kids and
like
women
the superhero
and men.
movies, like Justice League, which I'm sure you see.
I have not.
You can probably see it tomorrow, probably.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to see Justice League actually, because
Really?
I hated Suicide Squad and I didn't like Batman vs Superman, but I loved Wonder Woman. I thought Wonder Woman was great.
Wonder Woman was good.
Mm-hmm.
But Wonder Woman was great, but like this Justice League, Zack Snyder, you know, and like Zack Snyder's never really impressed me, so I'm just like, I'm not in a rush to see this one.
Yeah,
You know?
because you're like pretty up to date with that stuff.
And then like Josh Whedon, I guess, finished it.
Yeah, and like I don't like every trailer for Justice League, like
It's been very unimpressive.
and like they're all my favorite superheroes. So I'm a big comic book geek. Like I should be excited, but I'm like yeah.
Well, I heard that's what happened with Suicide Squad was not to get off a D, but that they had an edit for Suicide Squad. And maybe they weren't happy, and the trailer was such a success that they had the editor of the trailer come and edit the movie.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. And then they went back and did like 2 months of reshoots.
Jesus.
Suicide Squad is the only movie
That's a big mess.
that I saw in theaters that I considered walking out of. Like,
it was bad, dude.
Yeah,
It was like a bad movie.
You like realize it's bad like
Early.
10 minutes in. You're like,
Yeah, like what's
this isn't
going
gonna
on
be-
here?
this isn't gonna be
that was
good.
me like sitting there in the theater, and I had the thought, I'm like, I could literally be doing anything else with my time right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many other things I could be doing. But,
Yeah, I don't. Well, when this podcast airs, Justice League is already going to be out, and it's probably going to make a bunch of money.
Yeah, it's tracking pretty well.
And maybe we'll do a podcast on that. But yeah, man, I don't know. But it just seems like, and Dracula, you know, yeah, I'm sure when Dracula came out, everyone and their mother saw it. And
yeah. Did you see that they, the producer, I guess, that was in charge of Universal's kind of revamp of their old monster canon, like quit?
Yeah, they
So
Yeah.
it's like not, or it's
It's
like
because the mummy fucked up so bad.
Yeah, it's
that-
in limbo or something, and now
Like
they
the
don't
dark
like it.
universe
Yeah.
they were trying to do.
I kind of like that concept.
Yeah, I kind
I
of
was
liked
like,
it.
that could be cool if
Now,
it's done right.
I'll be honest, like I rented the new Mummy movie. I didn't have high expectations because like all the reviews are pretty awful,
Yeah.
and it's not terrible. Like
No,
it's-
we started watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would like to finish it because I'm watching. I think we watched up to like the plane crash and stuff.
Yeah.
But we were watching it. I mean, it didn't really seem like a mummy movie, but I'm like, this isn't like that bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
like
not-
it's funny. The dude and whatever's in it, he's funny, and
It was alright.
I mean, so
haven't seen it.
far,
Yeah, it's all right. Like it's not great. It's not terrible, but
why
like
bomb so bad?
Yeah,
what
it's
the
just-
fuck happened?
Did they like in that? Did they allude to like the larger world,
They
like the
did,
larger
yeah.
like
There's-
characters?
there's
out
like a
there?
whole like, which is what I hate when movies do this, where like they stop in the middle to like build up for sequels, and that's like what the Mummy does,
Yeah,
where like
that's what Batman and Superman did.
Yeah,
'Cause they're
yeah.
like, let's stop in the middle here and click on this file on this computer. Oh, there's all
Yeah,
the Justice League
yeah,
characters
and-
right there,
right.
conveniently,
Yeah,
displaying their powers.
and the Mummy does that where like it stops in the middle, and there's like Dr. Jekyll, and he's like, I'm part of an organization that hunts monsters,
Yeah.
and he has like, and he like. There's
Just
like
to
a-
avoid having to do more origin stories, here they all
Yeah,
are.
yeah, he's like there.
Yeah, exactly.
In like a he's there like he has like a museum with like a vampire skull and like the creature from the Black Lagoon's like skeleton hand, and like I'm a big monster buff, so I'm like,
Yeah, you're
oh,
the
that's
monster
awesome.
master.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, this adds nothing to the story.
That's how I like the
Yeah.
idea of it, though. Like, I thought it was a cool concept. Like, and now
Yeah,
too,
it's a
like when
shame.
like the superhero genre is obviously like the big money maker.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good. I feel like that's a good place to take that.
I think you would think, yeah, that would be
Right?
the next thing for like that.
Yeah, and
genre.
Universal started that in the 30s, where like their monster movies started making less money, so they're like, let's put them all together in one movie.
Make them,
Yeah.
we already.
So they started doing.
It's
that.
crazy to think that that was what horror movies was like haunted castles and haunted houses and monsters and stuff,
Mhm.
and then it became, I guess, Psycho was like the one that kind of
Yeah,
became
Psycho.
what's the term, new age horror? Or no, modern horror. Is that
There,
the term?
I watched a documentary that coined Psycho. From Psycho on, they called it the American New Wave of horror, and I like that term. So
Because there's like the guy next door.
They
Yeah.
put Psycho as kind of like
The-
the Jaws of
Yeah.
when like blockbusters kind of started.
yeah,
when, like
when,
horror movies
horror-
stopped being like monsters and became
Monsters
like
and
the
became-
guy next door could be
Yeah.
doing it,
Yeah.
which is much scarier. in my opinion, than,
I'll
than
agree,
some,
yeah.
some
It's not
monster walking
some
around.
fanciful magical thing.
Yeah.
It's the person literally in your next door.
But goddamn, how many versions of Dracula have there been?
There-
With Luke Evans.
Oh, Dracula Untold.
Did you see that?
I did.
Is it bad?
I did not hate it, but
How's
It was
compared- how's
interesting. It was a
compared to
different.
this
It was a
one?
different
Yeah.
take on it.
What
which
about compared to this fanciful Coppola's Keanu's Dracula?
it's definitely more of like an action.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's you get what you pay for.
Well, Dracula
But it, like,
2000, remember that one?
yeah.
I used to like that one. Is it any good?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long
since
time.
I've
like,
seen it.
Ooh, that one was like
It wasn't
cool.
Dracula, but like Queen of the Damned.
Oh
Queen of
yeah.
Dan. I saw that in
That
theaters.
soundtrack was my jam. In like
Yeah.
high school, dude.
Was that it? Was that that wasn't Atticus Ross and what's the dude that does all the Fincher movies?
Trent Reznor.
Trent Reznor.
I don't believe
Was
so.
that not that? Okay.
I don't
I don't know why I always think that.
But yeah, so back. I mean, with Keanu's Dracula, let's just call it Keanu's Dracula.
Keanu's
If it said that, about the title, maybe our thoughts would be different.
Keanu's Dracula,
Keanu's
directed by
Dracula.
Francis Ford.
But it seemed like the whole like quote unquote third act of the movie was just I don't know what happened. It became this big mess. It dragged on. The movie dragged on, and then it
Yeah.
kind of just ended. Like
Yeah.
oh, you feel bad for Baby Killer Dracula and Mr. fucking onion ring hair Dracula, and now he's just
You know,
and then it just ends.
You know that made me think of.
He becomes young and like fades off into like the
You
clouds.
ever seen Little Nicky?
Of course. The deep south.
When the devil makes the guy's boob.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what every time I saw him with the hair up, that's what that made.
Kevin
me think
Nealon,
of.
man.
So,
Little Nicky.
the same gentleman on Concussion who worked on this is telling me a story about Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah,
on
tell
the set.
the story. Yeah.
I guess at the time of filming, Gary Oldman was like a very heavy drinker, so he is drunk most of filming for this. But there's a shot like early on where he's rising out of his coffin and he like flips straight up, like he's on like some sort of apparatus.
Spring, like,
yeah. And Gary was drunk, as he was, and so they did it where like he sprung like up into like a sitting position, and as soon as they call cut, like he jumps off of this like rig and runs to the stage door, pushes it open, and like pukes at the stage door, and then like turns around, like wipes his mouth with his sleeve, and goes, "Let's go again."
I didn't like that one.
And
I'd like-
Keanu's in the back watching. Like,
He's on like the list of people that I'd like to do work on something.
He was. I mean, was he here for when Dark Knight Rises shot? Or was Gary Oldman here?
Probably.
I think he was,
He had to
yeah.
have been.
Had
Yeah.
to have been.
I didn't. I wasn't.
Were you on that? Did you work on
no.
that?
I worked one day on the stadium scene.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was there too.
Yeah, we were both on that.
We,
yeah.
Did we talk that day? Did we know each other at that point?
I think
a
we
little
did.
bit,
Yeah,
maybe?
we chatted for a bit briefly.
Did you work on it?
Yeah, I did the
Or did you
Heinz
do the
Field
act?
days, and then I did I worked maybe a week or two like in the streets during like the motorcycle scenes. But I never got to see like the fucking Batman suit. Like I never got to see Batman.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
saw like Catwoman, Stunt Woman, and
Yeah.
Bane at the Heinz Field.
Yeah, I
Days
saw
coming out
Bane,
with,
like, it's like
I remember seeing them in Oakland for the final
The
fight
fight
scene on
scene.
the steps, and he was
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw
There's
like
this huge crowd
You
of
know that
people
thing?
sitting there watching. Like they had fake snow,
Yeah.
the biggest freaking fly swatters, which is like a big silk that they put up on a crane, and it blocks out the sun.
Oh yeah.
The biggest
I
thing
Is that
ones
what's
I've
called,
ever
fly
seen.
swatter?
Yeah,
I never
that's what
heard
they
that.
call them.
Yeah, I was watching. I did see Bale in the bat suit. He was like leaving set.
Yeah.
Like he was like in the suit, but he didn't have his mask on.
Shit.
Yeah.
But I did see someone in the bat suit. I'm guessing it was
Someone.
a stunt double.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think that was the day that apparently Anne Hathaway, that motorcycle was real. Like you could drive it and everything. And she drove it into one of those IMAX cameras.
That wasn't her though. It was a stunt.
Or a stunt double. Drove it into one of the IMAX
Yeah, I was just
cameras.
talking to just yesterday. Was on this commercial, and the dude was there. He was on the crew when it happened.
And like I guess pieces of it went everywhere. And the one gaffer who works locally, Momo, he has the piece of it. He
Really?
wears it around his neck. On the camera, yeah.
That's awesome.
He just like picked it up and like didn't tell anyone. Like pocketed his like
That's
it's like $80,000 camera.
Oh my god.
It's probably more.
Yeah.
That was like one of 8 cameras ever or some shit. Like,
Yeah,
it was
like they built
crazy.
that for that
Yeah,
movie. I think.
That's some Coppola
Jeez.
Dracula shit.
I'd
But
like to see him do a horror movie.
who Bale? I mean,
Christopher
or Nolan?
Nolan's Dracula, man.
Nolan's
Pretty
Dracula.
good.
That'd be awesome.
This time as Dracula.
Keanu as Dracula.
Keanu is
Dracula.
Van Helsing.
He's like, I bid you welcome.
Hello. Listen
Hello.
to them, children of the night.
Children of the Night. But yeah, so overall, I think this movie was overrated. Can we all agree that this movie was overrated?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
say.
probably.
I guess so, yeah.
But we're gonna cheers to A for effort for Keanu.
Yeah, Keanu.
For Keanu.
Gary Oldman,
Right.
Winona, fucking Hopkins, they all did fine. The chick who was Lucy, I'm not certain her name, sorry.
Yeah,
She did fine.
Lucy
but
Painter? Was that it?
I don't think her name was Lucy.
What? Oh, okay.
I don't know the actress's name. I don't know if I've seen her in
But-
anything else.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think it was kind of overrated. 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. Come on, guys. Get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here. Get your head out of your asses, man. Get your shit together.
Yeah, when you told me you wanted to do this as overrated, I was like, shit, yeah, man, like, get me
I
on.
know, man.
Is that, then you were like, oh yeah, Turner and I are big Keanu fans, and I was like, fuck, like, I was meant to be honest, like, I love Keanu.
This was a sign. Well, I guess we should say happy NKRD.
Happy NKRD.
Today, do you know what that is?
You know what's that? No.
National Keanu Reeves Day, baby.
Is it a day? Is this his birthday or something?
No, it's just our.
It's every day.
Oh,
It's pretty much every day.
I support this.
So Keanu, thank you, my man. You're the man. Any last words, guys? We're gonna wrap it up. Anybody got any final?
You suck, Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, fuck tomatoes. Attack of the Rotten Tomatoes.
You gotta want it. That's
Gotta
what.
want it. Yeah, watch not to get back to Keanu, but watch the Keanu Reeves Coke commercial. It's classic. His like first job ever.
Oh my god.
Did you ever see that?
No, I never
We're gonna
did.
watch it after this.
Yeah,
take.
I gotta see this.
But Liz Wacko, any last words to the Drac fans out there?
No, just come to Pittsburgh, Keanu.
Come to Pittsburgh, hey man. James.
Thanks for having me on. I had a blast. And check out my podcast, Cinema d'Amore. That's D''Amore. It's
Write it down,
It's
guys.
Italian, yeah. But yeah, we discuss movies every week, as you could probably tell.
Yeah.
So
But guys, thanks for being here, and everyone out there, like and subscribe to this page. Make some comments if someone's a super fan of this movie. Tell us, and explain why, how, and as we say here, keep on whacking, guys. I bid you whack.
Keep on watching.
Signing off. All right, see you guys. See the music. Woo!